Welcome, wherever you are watching. My name is Miriam, and today we are looking at the health nuggets. And we are going to look at the simple cough syrup that you can make at home for your children, for yourself, or for your entire family at large to alleviate cold-like symptoms, to alleviate flu, and so forth. Now, but before that, let us bow our head for a prayer. Our kind and gracious Lord, we are thankful for granting us the privilege to learn these simple remedies. And as we learn, help us that we may apply them in our daily lives. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Now, before we go into the main things that we need to look at, that you need at home to create or to make your own simple cough syrup, which is, from my experience, I have seen it is loved by children. I'm going to share with you something that I've used it at home in my own home with my own family, and by the grace of God, I've seen that it really does work and it really helped us a lot. Okay, but before that, I just want to put a disclaimer. I was reading an article earlier today, a research where they are studying about three groups of rats. Now, one group was basically fed on plant-based, and the second group of rats was fed on processed food, and then the third group was actually at first fed with processed food until at a certain stage, then later it was given natural food. Now they realized that the first group of rats, which actually were fed on natural produce or plants from the beginning, had good healthy, and their offspring, they were so good, they lived longer compared to the second group that were fed on junky food. Now, however, the third group that were fed on processed food or junky food earlier before that and later changed on, they realized that yes, at the beginning they were sick and had serious diseases, but as soon as their diet was changed, there was a drastic change in their health and it was improved. Now, what am I trying to say? Many of us find ourselves, for example, in the third group category. Now, I'm not comparing anyone to rats, it's just a scenario. And I'm trying to say that many of us find ourselves in group 3, or whereby we find ourselves in a situation where we are already sick, or health is not so good, and we realize that our health is important, and then we want to change. We want to change from the bad lifestyle that we used to live into a better lifestyle. And so as a result, our body reacts differently, and therefore it is important, as we are going to look at today's syrup or today's lesson, that you need to consider some contraindications for some different conditions. Now, it is important that you consult your doctor whether your condition is fit to take different things that we're going to look at now, because you see, now at the time that we find ourselves, our body is no longer as perfect as we were created. We find ourselves with disease, and then we realize that now we need to change. So some things that may really appear and they are healthful, healthy wise, they may actually affect other people differently, and they are healthy. Therefore, it's important that you need to consider those kind of things before you apply what you are learning, what you learn today. So please, it is important. All right. So when we look at the book of Hezekiah, now the book of Isaiah, chapter 38, verse 21, is the story of Hezekiah's recovery. Now, the Bible records that, and Isaiah said, "Take a lump that is poultice of figs," and they took it and laid it on his bowl, and he recovered. Now, what is the poultice? Now, a poultice, they took a fruit fig and they crushed, or it can be a fruit, it can be leaves. You crush it and make like a paste. So in this case, they took a poultice of the fig and then they crushed it and applied it on Hezekiah. Now Hezekiah was sick at some point, and then the prophet came and told him that he will die. But then eventually, after so much prayer, the Lord said, well, he will not die. Therefore, as a result, this instruction was given. Now, it's very interesting to note that the same God that actually sent Isaiah to King Hezekiah would have actually, just commanded the sickness to depart from the king. But he didn't do that. He gave the king instruction as to what he was supposed to do. That shows divine and human working together for humans' goodness. So at the end of the day, our health is very important, and it is our part. We have a part to play. God has his part, but we also have to do our part. God has given us, God has shown us what we should do, what we should eat, and what we should not eat. And if we follow those and we follow God's instruction as to what he says, we're going to have a good healthy, and that is God is going to bless us with good health, because then we'll be living in obedience to his will. Now, today, as I've said, we are going to look at the making your own syrup, a cough syrup that can help with fighting flu and cold. Now, this syrup will consist of lemon, consist of ginger, consist of cayenne pepper, and honey. Now, first of all, we need to look at the benefits of lemon. There are many. I just put a little bit there, so you can actually go and search and you find a lot of them. Now, it is said that lemon is stimulant. So just like celery and cucumber, it helps the body to get rid of toxic. Our body produces toxic in the process of metabolism. So as a result, our body needs to get rid of that toxic which are created, and therefore lemon helps the body to get rid of those toxic, and thus it also helps in the good functioning of the kidney as well as the liver. So that's one benefit that is lemon is said to do to provide to us. And the second one is it increases iron absorption. You find that in some people who have got anemia, it could have been caused by various factors. Their body do not properly absorb, iron, and therefore we are told that, even though that lemon itself is low in iron, it actually helps the body to absorb, iron. When they eat food which are high in iron, like for example, the lentils, the spinach, and many other foods that are rich in iron. So the lemon, when also included in the diet, it actually helps to absorb the iron. All right. And then the third aspect is that lemon aids in excretion of excess uric acid, which results in arthritis. You find that sometimes, due to the diet that many of us eat, many of us do have, our body tends to have more of uric acid in our system, and as a result of that, when we take in lemon, it also helps to get rid of this uric acid, which if left alone, if it's not excreted from the body, it leads to arthritis, swelling of joints, and so forth, which can complicate our health. All right. And the fourth aspect is, now lemon is very rich in different vitamins, including vitamin C and phytochemicals. Now these are useful in fighting infection and boost our immune system. So you'll find that when you for example, you have a flu and you take more of lemons and lemon water, etc., and so forth, it helps to boost your body's immune system so that it can be able to fight back. Okay. It also aids in neutralizing certain carcinogens. Now, carcinogens, they are cancer-causing substances. So, lemon also aids in neutralizing the effects of these carcinogens in our body. Okay. Now, the second thing which is one of the ingredients in our syrup, is the ginger. Now, the benefit of ginger, also the benefits there are a lot. So, I just picked some few that I could add up there. Now, ginger encourages sweating, and as a result, it can be used to treat flu and cold. So when you take, for example, ginger tea, you realize that after you've taken that tea, you feel like it's hot, you feel like you're sweating. And so as a result, it helps. As we sweat, some impurities and other things, toxic goes out of the body system. So it is good. Now, the research that was done by Chang, it shows that also, ginger is high in antiviral, meaning that it helps to reduce the build-up plaques, which is caused by HRSV virus in human respiratory tract and cell line. So this is one another benefit that the ginger does provide, and it actually, the research shows that more of fresh ginger, it's the one that is more effective in helping reducing the plaques built by that virus than the dried ginger. All right, and it also boosts our immune system, right? So ginger has elements that helps to boost our immune system and help our immune system to be able to fight back infection, just like lemon. All right, for the women with difficult period pains and cramps, it also helps with easing the period pains and cramps when taken as a drink or as a tea. It reduces the pain. Okay, and the other ingredients in our syrup, it's the cayenne pepper. Now, I love cayenne pepper, and actually I don't eat anything without cayenne pepper. It's like I'm addicted now to cayenne pepper, but I just love it. It aids in digestion, and it alleviates problems such as gases. Sometimes you find yourself, you are bloated and your tummy is just full of gas from nowhere. Sometimes it is maybe caused by the food that we've eaten, improper food that we might have taken in, and sometimes even good food can cause gas. For example, beans. If you've eaten beans, you realize that, especially if they were not soaked in hot water to release the gas, you realize that they actually can cause gas in your stomach. Now, cayenne pepper can help to alleviate or to remove the gas. Now, it is important to take note that cayenne pepper should not be boiled or cooked. You serve it on your plate instead of cooking it. The moment you start cooking it, it becomes an irritant, and that irritates the stomach. So yeah, okay. And the second thing about cayenne pepper is that it speeds up wound healing, right? That's another benefit. Well, as I've said, I'm not sharing you something that I've not tried. Now, cayenne pepper helps in wound healing. Like, for example, let's say you are cutting something and you cut yourself on the hand or on a finger, and you just take cayenne pepper. I know it's a little bit painful, but you apply it on the bleeding wound. It actually helps to quickly close. So it helps the wound to heal fast. All right, and then the third aspect is that it prevents blood clots. It improves blood circulation as well. So because of the capsicum that is found in cayenne pepper and many other elements that are found in cayenne pepper, it helps the blood to thin, to become, nice and thin instead of clotting, thus creating other problems. So the cayenne pepper helps in blood circulation and preventing blood clot. All right, the fourth aspect is that it is rich in vitamin A, E, and C, which we have looked at. We have seen some of these elements that are found in lemon and ginger and so forth. So they help to boost your immune system and to help your body just to fight off whatever infection. Now, the other thing about cayenne pepper is that it helps to boost your antioxidant, right? Antioxidant antioxidant activities. This refers to, the body is in the habit of creating free radicals, as we're going to look in the next slide. So there should be a balance between the free radicals and the oxidant activity. Otherwise, the result will be oxidant stress. All right. Now, speaking on antioxidant, which we've looked at with cayenne pepper, these are neutralizing or chemical that removes free radicals from the body. Now, During metabolism, especially in the cell structure called mitochondria, when metabolism process happens, there is always a result, a byproduct that is created, normally which are called the free radicals. Now, these free radicals are not so good for our healthy. They can result to serious illnesses such as diabetes and many other chronic illnesses and stuff if they are not well balanced. So the antioxidant actually helps to balance or to neutralize the effect of the of the free radicals. So if there are more free radicals than there is antioxidant, that's what we call oxidative stress. So that imbalance is not good, because then it results in illnesses. Now, there are several factors that create or that may result to oxidative stress, such as the environment that we live in, such as our lifestyle, our diet, and so forth. So this can result in that imbalance taking place. So food like honey, food like cayenne pepper, they are rich in antioxidant, which helps to balance and to neutralize the free radicals. Okay, and the other aspect of honey is that it is rich in antibacterial action. So honey contains antimicrobial hydrogen peroxide and glucose oxidase. It also has a low pH, and thus it's capable of killing pathogens such as Helicobacter pylori, which normally are found in the stomachs and result in ulcer from the stomach and many others. So the honey, that's what you can benefit from the honey, and many other benefits which I did not include there for the sake of time. And then the third one, it relieves the cough. Now, somehow research have shown that the chemical compounds which are found in honey, it actually helps to relieve the cough. And there is some research have found that most of the cough syrup that are made, the drugs, the ingredients that are put in there, normally they are not children friendly by such. So instead, honey can be used, since it has good chemical compounds that helps to fight the cough. Okay, so now we're gonna go to our recipe and what you will need to have on how to combine everything in order to create your own syrup. Okay, so you will need the fresh ginger, the size of a middle finger, which is peeled and grated. You also need 1 teaspoon of cayenne pepper, the grounded powder, that is, and you also need 2 lemons sliced. Okay, you will need enough honey. Well, let's say probably about 250 ml. You also need a bottle jar with a lid. Okay, then the next thing that you need to do is you put all the ingredients in a bottle jar. Of course, it should have sterilized. You can do that by boiling it. This is why you are recommended to use a bottle instead of a plastic, because as time goes on, plastic with lemon is another healthy crisis factor. So it's advisable to use a bottle instead of a plastic. But if you do not have, well, I guess you can make use of that. Okay, so what you need to do is you put all the ingredients in your jar, and you pour the honey as a last on top of everything, and then you press it down with a wooden stick. Try to press it down so that at least it can mix together and start forming like a juice. And then after that, you keep it for 30 to 1 hour in the fridge. Now, suppose you are in the village and there's no fridge, and you are start thinking, where will I keep it? Now, I have learned that, do you know that the most coolest place in your house is under the bed? Yeah. So you look for the coolest place that is under the bed. So you can put your bottle under the bed where it is cooler, right? So that it doesn't, because when it comes in contact with heat and all those things, it can quickly ferment. If it comes in contact with the sun and all that, it can quickly ferment. Yeah. So rather you put it where it is likely to be cooler, and that is under the bed if you find yourself at a village with no fridge. Okay, so under the bed you leave it for 30 to 1 hour to allow it to form juice, right? And eventually after it has formed, then you drink, that is 4 times a day. Well, Just a precaution. Well, because of the honey that is in there, this syrup is not suitable for a child that is below 1 year. All right. So, but anyone that is 1 year and above is good, as long as they do not have those contraindications which I've stated earlier. Well, I really hope that you've enjoyed, and I really hope that the Lord will bless you as you seek to obey Him in changing your lifestyle. I want to leave you with this quote, and it says, "Sickness, suffering, and death are work of an antagonistic power. Satan is the destroyer, and God is the restorer. It is He who forgives your iniquity, who heals all your diseases, who redeems thy life from destruction." All right. So it is God actually that brings healing. Just like, the Israelite, the way, the way they were given instruction, for example, in Egypt to say they should apply the blood. They were just following the instruction. And us, as we follow the instruction in, in health message, God actually brings healing to our body, because then God sees that we really want to live a healthy lifestyle. So without God, we cannot do this. So let's ask the Lord to help us that we may live a healthy lifestyle. I hope you enjoyed it, and see you next time. Blessed day.